Bingo, we're getting down to the serious matters of today. Today is Thursday. Of course, Easter is on the horizon. Good Friday, the Boboli Day is going to be out soon, so we'll watch and see who's going to be the Boboli. I doubt it's going to be Keith. It may be Roger this year, but I doubt it will be Keith. It could be Faris to some extent, or it may very well be Stuart. Stuart might be the headline in Boboli this year. I want to believe that. So I'm not a betting man, and I can't do anything illegal like take bets and punt and that kind of thing. I have no betting license. But I'm just a cordial, friendly kind of bet. I'm not going to make the same mistake I made with Kevin to bet even a roti or a doubles. Forget that. I'm not even going down that road. After hearing about the food prices and all of that, I'm not betting no kind of money, no kind of food. This is just a friendly bet. Yes, and that and all I have to be very careful about. But who do you think is going to be Boboli this year? Somehow or the other, you will just I suppose text Kevin. No. Email me, and we will know whom you think is going to be the Boboli this year. Are they going to drag one of those looking statues, if you want to call it that, a mannequin through the city of a high prominent person? I really don't know. I know that they did once before. It seems as if though the timing is right again to have something like that. All right? But just quickly before I turn you over to Philip to say his good mornings, Calabar Foundation, this is something that has been beaten like a Boboli. I don't know what we'll get out of it again, but I'm doing this just for the edification of a guy named Harvey R. Boris. I think it's only fair that I do this, and I'm leaving copies to him. So Harvey, the copies I hear that you said you never saw, and for the ombudsman, I must tell you I'm a little disappointed, because you know what is fascinating? You want to call upon the government to fire Imbert for disrespect by having his phone and texting during the whole speech. And as I told you, in all of the camera shots that I saw, I did not see him texting for that long. Now, you might have been sitting right behind him, and therefore you had a better view than we did, because we didn't see anything at all. And you made your comment based on empiricality. But how do you feel about the senator that was charged for drunk driving? So while you're calling on the Prime Minister and say you're going to write your letter and do whatever you have to do, I hope you did also pen a letter calling on the Prime Minister to remove Lester, because that's not a very good sign. To have a person sitting in the highest office of decision making and advising that it's okay for him to be charged, whether it was by a fluke or not, it doesn't make no difference to me. The point is, in the books of the country, on the pages of history, would have been recorded that a man who was a senator was charged for sobriety, is the word, drunken driving, and had to pay a fine. So let's be fair. Which is worse? Imbert texting or Lester drunk driving? Or are they in the same part? It's like murder in the first degree, the second degree, the third degree. I mean, I don't know which degree that is. But Calabar Foundation, from the records, is registered to Michael Carew, Victor McKetrie, and Lennox Carew. One man is a consultant, the last one. Victor McKetrie is a contractor, and Michael Carew's occupation is not known because it's not recorded in the paperwork. Now, this same Victor McKetrie, I am of the view, has a company called McKetrie's Rental and Transport Services. Check number P00234-207, dated 14th April 2010, was made to this person for the sum of $2,300,000. In the subscribing paperwork that showed the kind of income that McKetrie's Rental Transport Services got, from the period 2007 to 2012. It has shown a range of monies paid to this particular contractor. And remember, his name is in Calabar Foundation documents. And look at the link up of everything that has happened before. A letter that was dated May the 4th, 2010, penned to Honorable Marlene MacDonald, signed off saying approved for $200,000, was submitted to the Honorable Minister while she was the Minister of Community Development, Culture and Gender Affairs in Jerningham Avenue in Queenspark, May the 4th, 2010. It talked about the Calabar Foundation and its effort to continue its thrust towards poverty eradication. And I wonder how many people they have taken out of poverty. I don't know. Do you? Should you be concerned? Should we? Should a country? Should the Permanent Secretary be? Should the Prime Minister have considered this before making his determination to bring her back? I mean, all of those are questions that are reasonable. It may not be politically correct, but it is professionally reasonable to ask such a question. In the document, for the same McKetrie Transportation rental transport services, has nothing in here talking about contractual. So there's a rental company, there's a company that do rental in their name. Shouldn't it have carried some kind of understanding that they are also, you know, civil works, construction, or whatever? It could have been called McKetrie's Construction and Rental Transport Services, so that at least it has some sobriquet kind of there that you would know. April the 14th, 2010, out of the vote called the NSDP, and I can't remember what that means, something Social Development Program, National Social Development Program, I think about this. Check number, the same number, 234207, made out to the PE, McKetrie's Rental and Transport Services, at number 10, Kinnan Drive, La Florissant Gardens, Dabadee. It says construction of Makano Quarry Lands Community Facility. The word here that is important is construction. The kind of problems I'm having with this is the police inability to be able to tie this up to something that is wrong. The kind of words that I find very difficult to understand is people saying that the woman have the ability to do the job, so give her a chance. $2.3 million was paid to a company that she is closely aligned to somehow or the other, either by direct contact or by relationship. And all of this seems to have gone unnoticed. But here's the worst part. The check is signed by somebody named Jack. I don't know the first signature, but the second one is signed by somebody named Coffee. Now, when you go back and you do the history of the gentleman, which is the one that is still in the Senate, and you do his Pumpkin Vine relationship. As a matter of fact, I am informed, and I am not certain, and if it is wrong, I apologize in advance. And if it is right, I expect the person to call and just say, yes, Robert, it is correct. The former member of the port, who is a very strong pro-PNM man, that was sitting on the board, that had to get off the board because the board was fired. I understand that this young man is his family. Is there something going on in Trinidad and Tobago with this family relationship? Will we see the new president take a different role, different action, different appointment system? Will there be genuinely independent people who are going to serve in the capacities for the best interest of the country based on her own experience? Or will we say the same continuum, which she referred to in her speech, that said presidents have operated in a particular way over all of these years, but she is looking to carve out her own? My big concern is the check was dated the 14th of April 2010, and it was cashed on April the 29th, 2010. $2.3 million, the same money they're trying to fight up with the guy with the Excel school. What's his name again? Kevin? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Adolphus.
Adolphus, whatever his name is, right? Daniels. The same money they're talking about with Daniels, where they're pressing the point. Take it to court, and you had deputy, so-called, as they say, self-appointed Prime Minister Stuart Young get involved in doing all kind of antics to get some kind of position on that. How is it they're not taking the same kind of emphasis in trying to ascertain what was given to them for this $2.3 million? Now, personally, I've never been to the area. I intend to go to that area that is called Makano. If Kingsley is listening, call me, because you would know where it is, and I think you would not have any fear of ill feeling to want to arrange to meet me and carry me. Let me see where this place is. Let me take a few pictures and let me put it up on Facebook and let people understand what did we spend 2.3 million. At least in Daniel, they said they found computers and they found some other things in a room. So, I mean, we never saw it. I never saw it. So I don't know what's going on. With that said, I am frustrated again that the processes in Trinidad and Tobago, I think all of those people who are involved in making the decisions, I went to the pharmacy yesterday and I asked for desensitizing spray and creams, and they told me they sold out. So I don't know if those people who are making decisions are using those types of things in their own personal life, and maybe that is retarding the decision-making process. Now that the pharmacies don't have that again, like they don't have Novas, which is a blood pressure tablet because they run out of stock because the distributor don't have, I don't know what's going to happen with regards to decision-making. You know, if you don't have it, you have to live without it. So maybe they may be finding some other alternative. Could be dip it in ice, and it possibly could help. Or use some kind of toothpaste. It's possible. I don't know. I haven't tried it. But if I don't get, maybe I'll have to revert to that and see if it works. And then I'll report back to you. A very good morning to you, Philip.
Good morning, Robert. Good morning to all the 104.7 loyal listeners. Good morning to everybody on social media that have been patiently waiting while you ran through that prosecution. Very, very important information. Good morning, Kevin. You could say that again?
Royal Castle, so the time check.
What's the time?
11:20.
11:20. Good to see Royal Castle. Robert, the issues that you raised there, I mean, you tie so many things together. When I watch the Parliament channel, I see the speakers get up and say, link your contribution. Link it. Because you have to link it. You link everybody. You bring everybody in the Kakada. You leave out Faris Al-Rawi. You leave out Faris Al-Rawi, and you can't talk PNM Bacchanal and leave out Faris Al-Rawi. Tell you why. This that was signed in April, not as bad as One Alexandra Place. When Faris Al-Rawi, as attorney, brokered a deal with a government that did not exist to rent his family's property at One Alexandra Place, that was a criminal act. We are yet to have any organization of state look into that. By now they will tell you it's statute barred, time run out. But a government, and Trinidadians need to understand this, a government is a child of the parliament. Without a parliament, you can't have a government. Do you understand that? A government comes out of the parliament. When the parliament is dissolved, there is no government.
True.
Except for, and the constitution is clear, except for cases of crisis, tragedy, hurricane, earthquake, natural disaster, man-made disaster, the government, those who held important ministries, will continue to function in those ministries in cases of disaster and crisis. But it doesn't allow for an attorney to bind the government to his family to rent One Alexandra Place for the millions of dollars that we spent. And we've never ever addressed that. If Donald Trump had done that, just that, it would have brought Donald Trump down.
But as you say that, you know, a new lady came and said that she had a consensual sexual relationship with him prior to him going.
Faris?
No. Faris.
I don't know.
Faris. Donald, yeah. Donald the boy.
Listen now.
Flip here, flip.
Prior to him going into the presidency, Donald Trump had a life.
Of course he did.
And I will quote...
Colorful life.
That's not my business.
Playboy life.
I will quote Robin Williams when he was speaking about Bill Clinton when they had announced that Monica Lewinsky had saved the dress that may have had some of the presidential DNA on it. And Robin Williams said, I don't care if he's screwing chickens as long as he's doing the job we hire him for. And I kind of tend to agree with that. Let's give everybody the little stick and thing.
No. You're not beat up everybody.
Hold on. What you do before you are in public office is your business.
I hear you.
Unless you're breaking the law.
Yeah.
Unless, like in this country where there is a buggery law,
Yeah.
if you're an open homosexual, whether you're in government or not, you're breaking the law. And anybody who in any position of authority who might have that as a lifestyle are being disingenuous to everybody else by not confronting and resolving that. But we stick up in there. Come back to this. The Integrity Commission cleared Mali.
Yes, they did.
Like whatever cleared Rowley and Landate.
Yeah.
This is a country where things happen. Faris told the nation that the $600 million worth of cocaine that left Trinidad and went Norfolk, Virginia, had no owner. It had no shipper. It had no consignee. Nobody was to receive it. This was just $600 million worth of cocaine that took it upon itself to go for a frolic through Trinidad. Nobody in Trinidad owned it, claimed it, shipped it. Nobody put it. And the opposition sits dumb and mute and don't raise these issues. I'll come back to one Alexandra Place. That is sufficient criminal activity to have brought down the government and the opposition. That neither of them have confronted and resolved that for the millions of dollars.
Well, as Kevin will tell you, you scratch your back, I scratch your back, because you're in power now, so let me see what's going on.
Yeah,
and
but
when
this
you
is a
come back in
country.
power the next time.
This is a country where they jail a man for $2. He got a jail sentence for stealing $2. And the judge said, rightly so, making a point. But it seems like in Trinidad and Tobago, we have court and justice for small crime.
They do.
If you thief millions,
You could get away.
you could get away.
It's the truth.
To this day, all we have had surrounding one Alexandra Place is innuendo,
Frills.
backbiting, old talk and bacchanal in the parliament, but not one institution of state. Who in this country is responsible to oversee the people's funds? Who?
But you see again.
Who's that? Whose job is that? Because Marlene McDonald giving her boyfriend a contract when she was the minister should be a criminal act. There should be somebody that, you see, in the United States, Gillette was trying to buy Wilkinson's sword, and the Justice Department said you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because that will make life difficult for the consumer.
Yeah. I think there are certain international standards that Trinidad and Tobago is yet to have leadership that would gravitate to wanting to accept.
But it's
such
not
a
enough
thing.
to say that. Somebody sent me this thing this morning. 8,622,591 people is the last census for New York City. The New York City Mass Transit Association moves 2 million people twice a day.
Yeah.
It moves 2 million people. 1.5 million alone in the subway. We can't move 5,000 people on a boat. These clowns
I don't
talking,
know.
they want to get into rapid rail.
No, I don't think that they can't move. I think the whole problem here, we must face this from more a practical rather than a political point of view. Let us not use the political
So it wasn't
indiscretion.
politics? When Faris telling people in all them cocktail party that there was some bacchanal with the Superfast Glacier and somebody was making money every month, every time the Superfast Glacier pay, that somebody in the UNC was making money, so the PNM bust their throat. That's what happened.
And I don't dispute
And
that.
there are people in the PNM and the people behind Bridgeman's Limited. You see all of this that getting to go under the carpet because the Chief Justice wants a sabbatical. Why is that my concern? I don't care if the Chief Justice go away forever. I want to know every time a crime is committed that there is an organization of state responsible for bringing that to justice. We do not have that in Trinidad and Tobago. It is why Calderhart, and I've been told, Calderhart still receives a salary. He still receives a payment. He received it every month under the UNC, and it continues now. And you cannot tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago that you could bring people's names into disrepute, call Hart, Ishan Steve, Brian Quaitong. You can't call SIS, Calco, and all of these people, Malcolm Jones, T.N. Ramnath, all of this, and there be no public resolution. We just say, okay, our next 100 million gone. Our next 100 million gone.
You and I have discussed this matter at length. And as I said to you, while theoretically or while practically or while from a policy point of view, what you are saying is correct, it is unfortunate that the people who are the ones that carry the professional power, and in this case the permanent secretaries, that they have not really lived up to the expectations.
But you brought up Adolphus Daniel. You brought up Adolphus Daniel and they had to send Ashwin Creed on vacation. When you brought up the issue with live sport and that $34 million, 2 checks paid to Adolphus Daniel and Ebin. The second check, we knew he did nothing for the first 17 million.
I will give him a second sentence.
But the lawyers say you had no choice.
Yeah.
With that, it's 11:28 people give it that time check for the KFC.
And you know what?
Every chicken and chips company in the country.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
Go ahead now, but every chicken and chips company in this country advertising here now.
Well, you know, this is the best place to advertise.
Best place. Last time check Royal Castle. This time check KFC.
They have another ad to play in the middle again. For Super Deal.
Yeah.
They have 3 ads as well. This is the first one. Kind of late.
Those potential solutions that you would like to see happen can only happen if you are in power.
Absolutely.
Speaking about them is...
Alright, so we get back inside of Sense and Sensibility, and I remind you about the Easter of Excitement. You still have to play the code for the Easter egg excitement giveaway. Yeah, that is coming up shortly, people, so you gotta look out for that. And of course, don't forget you can check out Value Optical to get all your eyewear, eye care solved and dealt with. Visit them today, schedule your eye exam, because Value Optical is caring for your eyes.
So Philip, coming back to the discussion of how do we bring some kind of short-term resolution. Short-term resolution in the area of very important accountabilities at this particular stage resides significantly in the hands of the permanent secretaries. Whether or not the permanent secretaries are willing to do the job in accordance with the mandate of the government, what should I call it, working rules, or the public service rules, is seeming to be where we have a big...
Robert, you're losing the audience.
Yes.
You're losing the audience. This is a country that has no ethics. This is a country where people come into positions of authority and throw aside their professional codes of ethics. We could not have had the level of criminal corruption has taken place in this country without lawyers and accountants facilitating the theft. The people who drive the getaway car, like the Bible says, the upholder is worse than the thief. A businessman, a politician could collude and conspire. Say, okay, let's build this here. And it's supposed to cost 50 million. We'll do it for 500 million. You take an extra 100 million. I can take an extra 100 million. We spread this around with the others. That cannot happen without those same permanent secretaries and everybody in the food chain.
So we come back to the point.
It is criminal facilitation. You have a problem in Trinidad and Tobago, Robert. If you brought a real government to office that was going to prosecute and bring these people to justice, you would have to empty the jails of all these little boys that you lock up for weed and thief and sneaker and corned beef to deal with the real criminals in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago is a criminally corrupt nation and a narco state. Those two things existing harmoniously in Trinidad. That only 500 people get murdered a year is a surprise to me. The fact that we are such a massively failed nation, we're not joke failed, you know. A woman posted on Facebook today. I want to read this there, if you will allow me. I want to read this there because this is beyond obscene. Kevin, you have a mom that is away being treated for cancer, and she is getting first world health care in a public hospital. Compared to this person, read this, Kevin. Read that on the, let the public hear what that woman went through.
This woman went through her past experience for 24 hours has her confused and concerned. Number 1, patient reaches Mount Hope by ambulance approximately 7:30. put on a chair. Patient is delirious with high fever and a diabetic with a previous heart attack. Point number 2. At 11 p.m., family asks nurse, what is the kickback? Nurse says there are people here that are of greater priority. Point 3. Doctor sees patient at 1:30 a.m.
How much time passed there?
6 hours. This patient is in hospital.
You sitting in a chair 6 hours with a high fever. Look what happened because of that high fever. Continue.
Results come back at 5:30 a.m. 4 hours after being seen by doctor.
10 hours passed now.
Still in the chair. Results indicated patient had a stroke and a heart attack since arrival at the
while
hospital.
sitting in that chair. You're not hooked up to any device to monitor you. That person's loved one sitting there had a stroke and a heart attack.
Further results show blood clot in the brain. It's number 7. Now more than 12 hours has gone. Patient has received no food, water or medication and is still on the chair. Point 8. 10 a.m. Patient gets a stretcher in the casualty department. Point 9. At 11 a.m. after reminding the nice nurse that the patient is diabetic, the patient finally gets a bag of drips.
You can stop right there. Because to go further is to cast aspersions on other people that part of a healthcare food chain. But the fact that that story was just read on national radio and the Minister of Health still has a job tonight is an insult to every voter of this country. The CEO of the Regional Health Authority that is responsible for that hospital, Robert, he is liable.
Yes, but Philip, again, we come full 360 degrees. You see, you're trying to eat this elephant whole. And unfortunately, what you're trying to do, although it may make sense, it does not change.
That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give a voice to everybody. To the people who sitting down right now in any of our hospitals and casualty, sitting in a corridor, lying down on a pea-soaked mattress, to all of those people who think nobody cares, I want them to know that we care. That we're not in government and we can't fix it. But you must know that for us to be focusing on your issue means that should we get an opportunity, we will fix it.
I hear you. And again, that part of it I think is the only way. Because trying to fix it from the outside is virtually impossible. Unless the society gets the will.
I want to tell you something.
As I said in what do you call it? Dabadi,
La Hoketa.
People got to respond. This isn't going to happen by people sitting down.
They're waking up.
Scratching their toes.
They're not scratching their toes. They're waking up. They're not scratching any other body parts.
Or playing with their testicles.
Let me give you an example.
It isn't going to work.
Let me give you an example. And Trinidad, it is not me that brought playing with the testicles into the conversation. Let me give you an example.
That's something they understand.
Let me give you an example of performance. Yesterday, last week, I had a stew oxtail lunch in Santa Cruz. And the oxtail was perfect. But that's a place that I go to buy my roti. I tell people Roti Cafe is the best roti in the world. I mentioned to Sharon Sajudin yesterday in Facebook, make a joke. I said, girl, the oxtail tastes so good, I could already imagine what a curry oxtail bus-up shot will taste like. She put it on the menu today. And she called me. Come and get curry oxtail. Have you curry oxtail in your life?
No, never.
That's on the menu today. Trinidad, if you go Roti Cafe, tell them Philip Alexander send you. And you will get a box that can't close. And if you see this little place between the police station and the fire station, there's a little parlor, and knowing that we have people in this country, and I give them a shameless plug there, but knowing that we have people in this country that's so capable of anything, that this should be the nation that we live in is unfairable.
But you see, again, everything comes from who leads. Because at this stage, if the leaders, past, present, or future, decide to make Trinidad, the country, the priority, then we will see change. But when the priority is about taking care of the guy who you have to look after because he's the one helping in the political arena to give you the money to fight the election, and your time has to now be taken up by trying to preserve and get back to him, then the nation suffers.
But you have to tell the listeners who are listening to you there's a difference between politics and governance.
Well,
that when the first black Syrian reach into parliament or when the Kamla Maniac is in office, their job is to serve everybody. You keep playing the clip when Rowley say the buck stops with me. But that's not just talk, that's the law. The well-being of the citizens, of all the citizens, is the function and purpose of government. There is no other reason for Rowley to have that job. There's no other reason for Kamla to have a role in the parliament. Their only purpose for getting those massive salaries and tax-free breaks is to look after the well-being of the people. That includes home ownership, the affordability of food, education that works, healthcare that delivers, security of all persons to start.
All of that is acceptable. You know. I am not fighting on that
But
issue.
you have to wake your listeners up
No,
because
no.
they don't understand.
Listen
They
to
don't
me.
seem to understand the difference between politics. And when you raise that point just now, they don't seem to understand the difference between politics and governance. And when Keith Rowley and Kamla Persad-Bissessar could use the People's Parliament, they and their ranks, they and their clans, they and their tribes, they and their two parties, use the Parliament to trade barbs and insults instead of addressing the needs of the people, why is the regulation of the financial sector, banks especially, not a priority for the Parliament? Why Kamla Persad-Bissessar, as leader of the opposition, hasn't raised it as a matter of urgent public interest that the banks in Trinidad and Tobago are raping their customers? They get zero interest, or when you get 0.01% interest on your money, that's practically saying, brother, I don't get that. But the truth of the matter is you get nothing. And instead, emptying their accounts with fees.
Remember I said it earlier, they raised their fees to change their check to $15. I asked why, and the woman tells me because the cost of business going up. They have to buy uniforms, they have rent to pay.
That is nonsense.
So I pointed out how much money she makes every year, and then she tells a couple $100 million in profit every year.
Every bank in this country does billions.
Then she says, it's not as much as it used to be. That is why they have to.
Well,
Why-
no, in
why-
fairness to that position, though, Philip, I think that the present government, in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, imposed an additional taxation on the banks during the last.
But that was a
budget.
retrograde step. You said it. Because that tax is going to pass on to the customer.
Well, all right, okay. But
What you need is financial regulation. You need to say the terms of reference of a bank operating Trinidad and Tobago. This is the rules of your license. You can only charge fees that are approved by central bank. Interest rates are to be set by central bank. So you have a spread that you can work within, like the foreign exchange. This country has banks applying a 13% unofficial tax to the economy because they're buying US at $6.01 and selling it back for $6.77. Kamala not bringing that up. Keith Rowley not addressing that. Colm Imbert as Minister of Finance not speaking about that. Our central bank governor is a ghost. We just appointed a financial ombudsman, and after that you will not see or hear from him again. The Bankers Association of Trinidad and Tobago collude to plunder and pillage Trinidad and Tobago. 20 years ago, Time magazine called them predators in paradise. It's not changed. It's gotten worse. People get no interest on their money, and because there's no interest paid to depositors, banks are not motivated to lend the money.
Yeah, but take it to the point of not only a Trinidad position.
Credit, I could only talk about Trinidad, Robert. Without credit in the economy, the middle class collapses.
Right,
Without
okay.
the middle class, all of us will end up mixing Starbucks coffee.
Let us agree that is a problem. But let us not take that as if the Trinidad and Tobago is operating in a financial world, that it has any kind of, clout. The reality is that the biggest economy in the world just carried up its interest rate 0.25.
We don't deal with that here.
Yeah, but
you don't set rates here. When the banks make $4 billion last year, that $4 billion is profit from our 1.3 million people doing business with the banks. It is a lucrative business in Trinidad. Serve the people. And if the banks cannot be motivated to do that by themselves, open up the market. Bring in 10 competing banks. All of a sudden, all them wickets full of tellers. And banks looking to give you a toaster and panini machine to come and open a bank account.
I wouldn't dispute that we need more competition in the financial sector. And that is why I think the government took its role to say, let's broaden and deepen the process by bringing the credit unions under the financial institution laws to allow more competition into the marketplace under the present day system. The trouble that we have to come to grips with is how do the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and I think it requires legislation. I think it
But
requires,
it requires
some
financial
kind of-
sector regulation.
It needs some kind of regulation. I mean, I would put a double taxation of a very high level on a bank.
You see, you would
That's
go
me.
that route. I'll tell you what I would do. I wouldn't tax the bank. I'll tax the profit.
No, I'm talking about the profit.
Tax the profit.
Yeah.
And the best way to tax the profit is to get government or state a seat on the board. That
we have to take in a little light now. You're talking some serious stuff. That's good.
Oh, you're going to the segment.
Maybe do something a little bit like.
Right, well, we'll leave it up to you. We'll be back, people. Our Easter excitement segment is coming up next.
with that first.
You need it. You need rules and regulations. But that can happen just so.
How long are you going for?
5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Well,
Yeah.
as far as it takes somebody to get the right code.
It could be about 5 minutes.
Alright people, so that is the Easter excitement code for today. If you think you've heard the code well enough and you think you want to take a chance and give us a call and tell us what the code is, because you want to win a prize on Good Friday at our sports day, then 628-9595, 628-3131. Good morning. Good morning. No, you're wrong all over. You're wrong all over. I call us the wrong fellas there, people. That is not correct. Have a nice fellas. I'll do it again. Here we go. Alright, so that is the code for today. You think you heard the right code? 628-9595 or 628-3131. Good morning. No, baby. Run all over the place again. Not quite. No, you're wrong. I'll play it again. Alright. I know it's difficult. It is difficult. It's supposed to be difficult. You're trying to catch it. Let's go again. Alright. Let's try again. Good morning. Wait, lot of. Alright, that's way too much feedback. I have to cut that out. Good morning. Good morning. Right. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. You have it correct. Alright, what is your name? What name is it? Kadeep Jairam. Or Pradeep. Pradeep Jairam. Alright. Pradeep Jairam, you have to come down to our sports day. Constantine Grounds with West Macoya on Good Friday to win a prize, alright? Alright. Alright people, it's that easy. It was that easy to get in on that. Alright, so we'll be back after these.
There's no way Trinidad and Tobago could change without having some kind of revolution.
I would start with a revolution in hearts and minds. I think that we could educate people. I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to work hard every day, educating people, informing, empowering them to the point where they make a better decision. Send us back in before you go now.
Yeah, I'm not trying to organize it.
No, the thing is that what you're saying there is not wrong, but you should know by now. I mean, I don't know how you measure in this. I mean, what was your take on the Maloney for the turnout?
Is that the election season?
No, but the election, I mean,
we still live in.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I'm gonna measure it against what this new party, who trying to form, they're trying to launch. They're coming to launch in Westmoreland now. I want to see what their turnout is like, and I want to measure it there because there's a lot of white people in that party. So
I hear what you name in there. What's your name? Former Mariano Brown.
No, all of them said no. All of them publicly said they have meant to do that. There's a kind of Syrian 1% party. But I have no doubt that they could buy up people. It's like, you know, there are football clubs in England and Spain that just buy players. So I guess you could buy some names. But I don't know how easily led astray Trinidadians are going to be now.
Depends on who is the leader.
Depends on who's the leader. But I want to monitor and see what they're doing. I mean,
when they're launching?
I couldn't tell you. They were supposed to launch the same time we were in La Hoqueta and they cancelled it.
What do they call themselves again? Leap or lead or some shit?
Some foolishness. You have to say what you just said without sounding like you're inciting violence.
No, I understand that. I can't say it, I mean, because it needs some kind of revolt.
Yeah, but
Don't insult the sufferers, they will right. Somebody else bad talking.
It need a level of resistance.
bring that up. I want to tell you something.
And Marcia, very real have things to talk about too.
It need a
Talk to her
level,
Tete followers.
yeah, it need a level of resistance. I think that's
Yeah,
what
but
it needs.
the real resistance, what people don't understand is the real resistance is the money in their pocket.
That
If
might-
they stop spending for a week,
yeah, that
right
might-
to that
yeah,
whole-
but you know that ain't happening.
it's not happening. So
Don't even
if
make
people
sense.
wouldn't sacrifice and spare me, they will come out in the road and take tear gas and bullets. Nah.
There. But we need some kind of resistance.
Well, the first step is to let people know that they're entitled to better and that the systems exist, that it can be done. Where it goes from there, we will see. Tune boy.
It needs a level of resistance.
We are organizing the People's March for Justice and Freedom from San Fernando to Port of Spain, a symbolic march, 12 hours long, a walk. And I'm going to keep you in the loop as the planning goes on, so that, and we're going to invite every organization, every citizen to come and walk with us. Whatever part of the walk you want to walk,
We could. Yeah.
come and join us. We're starting in San Fernando by the City Hall, and we're walking to Port of Spain. And to symbolically link the island, I mean, I guess, I don't know how we're going to link Tobago, because you can't get a boat.
Yeah, we jet ski.
We have again.
KFC.
Alright. And then after that, that's it.
Yeah, I
You,
know.
you see, again, that's what it leads to military interventions, situations like what happened in Trinidad. There's no easy way to make a country get right. If you depend on the democratic process, it never works. Never works. For Trinidad and Tobago to get right how to go.
No, but people, I don't know, people waking up.
No,
Robert.
nobody.
Let us
Don't fool yourself with that.
wait for an election. They must call an election.
It'll be the same. It'll be the same because you see the other two parties have significant numbers of polarized support. To get in the difference to mitigate
But more
that.
than 50% of the people don't vote.
Yeah, forget
If we
that.
get those 50% to
They
come
may
out,
come in.
well, they
The
came
only
out.
way that could come is if we start finding a set of nice women that naked, sensual, sexual, and when the men come, we say, go take a fuck. Yeah, come vote for me.
Naked politics.
Naked politics. Go. We have a big tent,
Yeah,
3,
but
4,
no.
5,000 women inside of there. And men just could come and take a poke. I tell you.
We're
Free
going,
sex.
we're going beyond Roman routine.
Yeah, Roman roti can work. But free sex will work.
Alright, let's get back inside of Sense and Sensibility. It is 11:51. Time check comes to you courtesy of Hearty Foods. And speaking of Hearty Foods, I'm going to get people. There are a whole lot of great specials to be had. They are in 2122 Queen Street in Arima. And of course, Kabuki's Black coming up on the 12th of May. It's the night before Mother's Day. Of course, organize, get your tickets. Give mom that surprise, especially mom likes to go out and dance, have herself a good time. Yeah, remember it's Mother's Day. She don't have to cook for you the next day. Alright. Just think about it. I'm going to have herself a good time. Get your tickets at Cleves. In Port of Spain, Bobby's Bar in Cuba, Sylvester's Bar in Arima, La Luna and Aruca, Fats International, Diamonds by Sarah in San Fernando, Sal Lounge and Shops of Arima, and of course, 104.7 Studio. Yep. Black, it is indeed. Kabuki's Black.
Philip, you know, we were talking of, I mean, I am, I don't want to say frustrated, I'm nationally disappointed.
I want to say to you on air, some massive revolutions have taken place in the world that we don't give enough credit to, that are going to affect the politics of Trinidad and Tobago perpetually. One of those things is social media. Social media has brought traditional media's ability to spew government rhetoric and propaganda to its knees.
Right, okay.
We get bigger audiences on our live videos than traditional media gets for TV shows.
I understand that.
So, and that is growing by the day.
Yeah.
The Progressive Empowerment Party right now, we're creating Pep Radio, which is going to be on an app on your smartphone. Everybody have a smartphone. Everybody have a smartphone now. And it's going to be an app on your smartphone that you'll be constantly in touch. You don't be sitting down in a car or sitting down in your home. It's changing the game. Social media is changing the game. And while Trinidad and Tobago is not keeping up as much as they should, now is not the time for you to get frustrated, because I want to tell you, the PNM and the UNC are having difficulty holding their hordes in order. Those people are vexed. The reason the UNC can't mobilize is UNC people have not forgiven Kamala and crew for 2010 to 2015. And PNM people, getting frustrated. PNM people real vex, partner. PNM people real vex. They don't want you to call them PNM people anymore. PNM people vex because they know that they've held up that party and held it aloft. I keep telling Keith Rowley every chance I get, it is the people of Bagatelle, Rich Plain, Covine, Mason, Factory Road, La Puerta, Sanganga, Scorpion, Big Yard, Abipujad. Those are the people that fed and raised your two girls, Gerard.
I hear you.
They paid for your job. They paid your salary.
All of that is all well.
No, but he can't continue to leave those people unrepresented. They're looking for more than they're supposed to get, you know, Robert. They're looking to get what they are entitled to.
I will tell you today that he is not going to do anything for those people. He has already decided that if in 2020 he doesn't get nothing there, to hell with that.
He's telegraphed, okay.
Okay? So,
but the PNM itself, as an institution now, he is going to be credited, Keith Rowley is going to be credited with destroying it. Okay. To have a couple Dane Wilsons and a couple other knuckle draggers who inside that party still banging gongs is not enough.
Okay.
The institutional PNM that people had respect for, that don't exist
yeah,
no
but I put aside all of those things. I really don't care about political
But you're saying you want a revolution. That is a revolution of hearts and minds.
Yes,
because
but no,
people...
I am going further than that. I'm saying that this country needs a day of resistance. You see, first we have to make sure that the people understand that they have certain rights. At this stage, they believe the right they have is the right to support an institution that has created polarization for the last 56 years. And if the president, the new president of Trinidad and Tobago, did not absolutely make that clear in her acceptance speech, then it means to say the people of Trinidad, as Keith Rowley say, is really stupid.
Robert, I didn't listen to her speech. Anthony Aquinas Carmona broke my heart. I was the person who said that speech, powers that you do not know I have, I do. That speech set me on fire.
Yeah, it set a lot of people.
I say we're going to fix this place.
Yeah.
We have a champion.
Yeah.
The only powers Carmona brought to the thing was whining powers. He brought no other powers. He did nothing of value for anyone. You did not change the game. The only president we've ever had.
Now he appointed a young boy to the Senate that father have some kind of problems with
the man who
young boy
Nikosi, whose father was killed, who break out of jail. That's what it was. No, but the only president who ever tried to buck the system was Robbie. When Robbie held off appointing Pandey's senators to prove a point, and then give the government, how we end up with, instead of 36 seats, we have 41 now. But the truth of the matter for Trinidad and Tobago is this, and you keep saying it and you're right. Trinidadians can't sit down and watch other people stand up. We either all stand up or forget it. Because it's dying. Yeah. The people of Tobago right now, if Trinidad...
They're happy.
No, but if Trinidad was so far in debt, because we're getting there, because the deficit finance in the country, so there's going to be some point where the international lending agencies are going to say, your credit is used up. And anything else from here requires you to go to the International Monetary Fund. But if we didn't have the $3.9 million to pay Liat to pull Caribbean Airlines stones out of the fire, because Caribbean Airlines was pulling the government stones out of the fire because of the collapsed sea bridge, where they had no sea bridge at all. If we didn't have that $3.9 million, Tobago would have been effectively cut off from the world. we would have had to mount.
No, we could have talked to Watson and find out what was the medium.
You saw that movie about Great Britain where they had to get all of the private boats in Dunkirk to go and pick up the stranded British army in France.
No, I didn't see it.
We had to, but that was a big. The Battle of Dunkirk was a big thing in the Second World War. We would have to go yacht club and yachting association and the fishing centers in Trinidad and Tobago and hire every pirogue and every Bertram and everything I could have find and send it to Tobago back and forth. We would have to do Trinidad's version of Dunkirk because Keith Rowley and Colm Imbert, you talking about who? I hear that. I hear in Toko, partner, Scarborough. I hear that going on. That is not a joke. You're pulling ball with pirogue in Toko. That is where the country reached.
Yeah, we get to the point where we have to get out of here. But people of Trinidad and Tobago, I mean, I don't know.
Wake up.
I have...
Wake up.
Well, as a matter of fact, we play that song every day.
Wake up.
Remind me to get the song.
This Saturday at noon, Robert. This Saturday at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue. We meet again under the mango tree. Trinidadians come out in their numbers. Bring your friends. Bring your family. Mango's bearing. You bring the family, everybody. Kevin is be there.
Anytime the mango bear,
all the girls who want to meet Kevin in person, Kevin is be there every Saturday.
Just remember that you have competition. May not be the dimensions that you would like, but I mean, you have competition. Top heavy might be.
Anyway, this Saturday at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue, the entire country is invited as usual. Come and meet the Progressive Empowerment Party. Robert, thanks a lot for having me. It's nice being here, Kevin. Good day to all of the 104.7.
If you the people of Trinidad and Tobago do not start to put up some kind of resistance to what is taking place, day after day we'll be speaking the same talk, we'll be talking the same talk, we'll be having the same discussions. We'll be like two pieces of slate with oil in between it. We'll be shuffling in the same spot. I don't know about you. I am frustrated.
Pick a random Thursday and call the entire country. Meet us outside 104.
We could try that.
Meet me on the pavement. That'll be
Until next week when we'll be back. Enjoy your weekend. Those of you who go to gas stations and leave your car running, I hope one of them blow up this weekend.
Stay safe.
I'm really looking forward to that.